Hi, this is Prem Das, and this is a follow-up video from my last video. The last video was whether or not we should engage in spiritual practices, and it was a reaction, a response to watching a video interview with Rick Archer from Buddha at the Gas Pump and a Catholic monk, former monk, by the name of Francis Bennett. And I really enjoy this inquiry that's been happening within my heart these last few days, and I'd like to continue that. I just got back from running, and actually I felt very passionate about what I wanted to say while I was running. I was feeling a lot and seeing a lot and hearing this sort of meditation and this, maybe you could even say, argument. Now I'm home, I've showered, I feel much more relaxed, and I don't feel so passionate about it, but once I have an idea to do something, I usually follow through with it, for good or for bad. So I wanted to call this, I think I'm going to call this video, The End of Separation, but I also wanted to call it, What is Your Living Reality? So maybe I'll talk about both of these things. And of course, maybe it seems premature for someone like me, who's not enlightened, to talk about these things. But I enjoy non-duality. It's what I'm passionate about. I have been for over 20 years. And does any of this really matter anyways? We're all just movies. We're all characters in a movie. And you know, if you believe Tony Parsons, we're not doing this anyways. It's only oneness, right? So oneness is the doer, God is the doer, I'm not doing this or something. But anyways, I'm joking. So should we embark upon spiritual practices? And what I was thinking is, let's say you wanted to go to the ocean. So you sought out the ocean, you traveled 10 miles, and you reached the ocean. Once you actually reached your destination, would it make sense anymore to continue to seek the ocean? No, of course not. In fact, if someone said, okay, continue seeking the ocean, you would say, but why? I'm already here. Here's the ocean. I've reached my goal. I've reached my destination. So in non-duality terms, I would think that this would be what I would call the realization that all is one. The realization that I am what I've been seeking. That this awareness everyone talks about is already here. It's already aware. It's already happening. Maybe we could say that reaching the ocean in this analogy would be the disappearance of the me. All of a sudden, we can't find a self. And we really can't find it. It really dawns upon us. There is no self. There is no separate self. There's not oneness and a separate self. All there is oneness. The oneness isn't excluding or in denial of a separate self. It's actually including the separate self. Just like the wave is included in the ocean. So, or if, let's say you wanted a glass of water. Once you get the glass of water, it doesn't make sense to seek the glass of water anymore. So, again, I'm just surprised by all the debate and discussion, which I really feel is just the mind making it more difficult. But I'm surprised when I hear people have these debates, and maybe I'm foolish to even try to enter into this debate. But again, I just feel to make this video, so here I am making a video. But my point is, and I want to agree with you, Rick Archer, at some point. I disagree and agree with you, because I've seen a lot of your interviews, and I feel that you almost defend this point, argue the point that of course we have to continue seeking, because there's always more to see and things like that. And I would say that's true. There's always more to explore, always more to see, but I think the question is, who is doing that seeing? Because I feel at some point, and that's why I think they say that awakening is the beginning of this process. The beginning of life. Not the beginning of life, but it's like the resurrection, or the death, the crucifixion, and the resurrection. I used to be a born-again Christian, so there's death of the old self and birth of the new self. So what has died? And I think what has died is the sense of separation. Again, going back to my last video, I started a spiritual path because I was suffering and because I was curious. So if you're not suffering anymore, and if you're not curious anymore in the sense that your questions have been answered, you've realized whatever you've realized, then why would seeking continue? Now, is there more to see? Yeah, I think there is more to see. But it's whatever you see from that point on is always this. So once you realize everything is consciousness, then you may see more, but what you're seeing more is consciousness, and what's doing the seeing is consciousness. Where before awakening happens, it's a separate self. It's a seeker, a spiritual seeker. It's somebody who hasn't seen that all there is consciousness. It's somebody who really believes, I'm a human being only. I'm only a human being. All there is this human body, and I am a separate self. But when it is seen that there is no separate self, when the separate self has died or disappeared, when separation has died and disappeared, when there's no longer I and other, me or you, when all there is this, then that's the death of seeking. It's not that you have to stop seeking, it's that you found what it is that you were looking for. I like what Mooji says. He says there's two aspects to this. There is the changeless awareness, because even prior to awakening, it is seen that awareness is changeless. And prior to awakening, it is seen that consciousness is all that changes. And after awakening, I suppose, I don't know, I'm not there yet, but I would imagine that is seen as well. And I've heard Mooji say something like, there's always that which is changeless. There's always that sense that all there is this consciousness. So it's always what it is. But there's also a changeful aspect as well. Just because, just as in normal life, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're here, you're there. But it's always life. It's always happening within life. So once it is seen that this is all God, then it's always God. It's always the ocean. It's always water. So it doesn't matter if you're at the waves, at the top of the ocean, or if you're at the bottom of the ocean. It doesn't matter in the sense that it's all water. That's what I'm saying. There's no distinction. There's not water in something else. All there is water. So there's either water and you're at the shallow part of the ocean, or there's water and you're at the very bottom and the depth of the ocean. And I would say for sure, at the bottom of the ocean, the experience of the water at the bottom of the ocean, the silence, the solitude, the stillness, is a different experience than the water at the top where the waves are crashing and making noise and there's a lot of movement. But the truth, I think the most important thing is this pointer that everything is water, let's say. Everything is consciousness. Everything is spirit. God alone exists. All there is this, and this is nothing appearing as everything. This is the absolute appearing as the relative. Once that is truly seen, the seeker doesn't need to be around anymore, and it probably isn't, because it has found that which it was seeking. But is there growth? Is there compassion? I just can't imagine that the quality is the same after awakening. Because why would it be? The circumstances are different. One last thing, I don't know if I can get it in here. I remember Gangaji, forgive me if I'm messing up the story, but when she met Papaji, he said something to her like, stop. Now, he wasn't saying, stop seeking, you shouldn't seek, it's stupid to seek. He was pointing to the fact that what you're seeking is already here, so you don't need to seek for it. And she heard it. The mind stopped. Because the mind is trying to find something in the future that it's not in the future, it's here. So this stop seeking is about realizing that what you're seeking is here. So, what is the distance between here and here? There is no distance. Okay, that's my rant. Thank you, Rick Archer, for your videos, your interviews. I'm watching them one every morning now as my spiritual practice to further and further deepen and expand, using your words, into this non-dual reality. Okay, thanks, and goodbye.